Love, jealousy, and betrayal changed in a horrible story you won't forget. A shocking case of a fiancé's doubt turned deadly. Corrupted dash cam pick off all the layers of this hidden horrific truth. Stay tuned for the horrific truth behind a murder start from suspicion and shattered trust. In 2014, in New Mexico, Emily Lambert, an elementary school teacher, went missing after a weekend trip. Robert Early, her boyfriend, reported her disappearance after she didn't return to their hotel. Despite being intoxicated, no one had heard from her, including her parents and ex-husband. Emily was a 30-year-old teacher from Garland, Texas. She had 2 daughters from her previous marriage, and she and her ex-husband got along well. Emily met a man named Robert Early, who was 3 years older than her. They didn't know each other, they met through mutual friends and quickly fell in love. They had been dating for 4 months. Emily introduced Robert to her parents, Donna and Stephen, and her daughters liked him too. Robert had to move to New Mexico for a job in the oil field. They agreed to spend a weekend together there. Emily left her daughters with her parents and went to visit Robert in Carlsbad, New Mexico, where he was staying in a hotel. Emily traveled to Carlsbad on Friday, February 28, 2014. It was a long way, about 500 miles. She was happy to see her boyfriend Robert when she got there on Saturday. She even talked to her mom on the phone and seemed really happy. But on Sunday, March 2nd, Emily was supposed to come back home. Her mom, Donna, got worried when Emily didn't show up. Then Robert called Donna and said Emily was missing. He said they had a fight in a bar the night before and she left. But Emily didn't go back to their hotel, and her car and phone were still there. Donna told Robert to call the police, but he hadn't done it yet. Donna told him to call 911 right away. Robert called 911 and told them that Emily was missing. He said he talked to her parents and ex-husband, but they didn't know where she was. He mentioned that Emily was drunk when she left the bar. When the police went to their hotel, they saw Emily's stuff was still there, including her car with her purse inside. Robert explained to the detectives what happened the night before she disappeared. They went to a bar at their hotel, had drinks, and played pool, but Emily got upset when Robert played pool with another guy. She went to the bar and started flirting with a guy in a cowboy hat, which made Robert mad. This led to their fight. Emily and Robert had a fight at the bar. A guy offered to walk Emily home, and Robert said she could go with him if she wanted to. When Robert went back to their hotel room, Emily wasn't there. He thought she needed some time alone, so he went to bed. But in the morning, she still wasn't back. Robert called her parents and then the police. Emily's parents, Stephen and Donna, went to the police station to report her missing. They said Emily would never leave her kids and job willingly. The police talked to the bar staff, who confirmed there was a fight between Emily and Robert. Robert's story matched with what happened. There were security cameras at the bar and hotel, which could help find out more. The detectives watched the footage to find out if Emily left the bar alone, or if someone went with her. They saw Emily leaving alone at 11:30 p.m., walking quickly towards her room. She looked upset and didn't talk to anyone. The man in the cowboy hat was seen watching her leave. Since Emily had been flirting with him earlier, the detectives thought he might have followed her, but he didn't leave the bar right after her. Instead, Robert came out 4 minutes later. The man in the cowboy hat was still there. If Emily had gone to her room, she would have been there already. After Robert left, the police asked the media and Emily's family to spread the word about her disappearance. They also searched and interviewed witnesses. Most hotel guests didn't know anything, except for one man in the room next to Robert's. He said he heard loudly crying someone around midnight, which made the police doubt Robert's story. 58 hours after Emily disappeared, Robert took a lie detector test to prove he wasn't involved, but he failed. He wanted to retake it, but the police said no. They already suspected him, and failing the test made them more suspicious. When the police questioned Robert again, he changed his story. At first, he said Emily wasn't in the room when he came back from the bar, but when they found out about the neighbor hearing them argue, he admitted Emily was there, and they fought. He was mad that she flirted with someone else. After Emily left, Robert couldn't find her, so he drove around hoping to spot her. But when he returned to the hotel, she still wasn't there. Under pressure from the detective, he changed his story. He claimed he saw Emily getting into a white pickup truck with a man wearing a cowboy hat, possibly the same guy from the bar. Robert said he followed them to an abandoned house in the desert. When they stopped, the man hit Emily with a pipe and she fell down. Robert got scared and drove away without helping her. The detectives didn't believe Robert's story, but they decided to check anyway. Robert led them to the abandoned house about 12 miles from the hotel. They found drag marks in the dirt road leading behind the barn. When they found Emily's body covered with a metal sheet near the abandoned house, Robert didn't react much when they told him. Her parents, Donna and Stephen, were devastated, having lost both their son and daughter 2 years apart. The detectives confirmed some parts of Robert's story, like the location of the abandoned house and Emily's head injury, but they had doubts about the rest of his tale. There was no white pickup truck near the hotel, and the man with the hat at the bar turned out to be the owner of hotel. Forensic experts said Emily died from head injuries, swelling on her face, and marks on her neck. CCTV footage showed Robert acting weird at the hotel reception. He asked for a spare room key and left at the same time Emily's neighbor heard them arguing. The detectives found out Robert called Emily from the reception desk, but she didn't want to talk. He went outside the room, called her again, and entered using the spare key. His phone recorded a message to Emily's voicemail where she sounded like she was yelling at him to leave. This made the detectives think Robert was lying. The police interrogated Robert again. They explained to him that nobody believed his story anymore. The detective who conducted the interrogation found a way to convince Robert to tell the truth. He finally admitted that he and Emily started quarreling in the bar because of the man in the cowboy hat. During this quarrel, he said that she could go with anyone and anywhere if she wanted. These words offended Emily, so she turned around and returned to the room. When Robert returned from the bar, she wouldn't open the door to their room. That's why he had to get a spare key from the receptionist. He got the key, went inside, and they continued their fight. During the quarrel, Emily said that she was leaving and that she no longer wanted to have anything to do with Robert. According to him, the quarrel turned into a real fight when Emily decided to leave. He tried to stop her, but she bit his hand and pushed him away. Robert hit his head against the wall and got furious. He punched Emily in the face, and when she fell, he kicked her several times. She was able to stand up, but he did not stop and continued to punch her in the head and face, while telling all this early did not show any emotions. It looked like he had no regrets about what he had done. When Emily lost consciousness, he realized that he had gone too far, but instead of calling an ambulance, he decided to hide the traces of his crime. The hotel room where they stayed can be accessed directly from the parking lot, bypassing the reception desk entirely. That is why no one saw Robert put Emily into his car and drive away. He took her to a remote area where she regained consciousness. He pulled her out of the car, took a car hand pump, and started hitting her on the head with it. Emily's body was too close to the road, so he needed to move it further, but the way he did, it was no less horrific. He took a rope, tied one end around Emily's neck, and tied the other to the car. This explained the traces of dragging at the crime scene. After he hit Emily with the pump, he took off all her clothes. Then he hit her a few more times. After that, he covered her body with a metal sheet he found nearby. Then he left and got rid of the rope, Emily's clothes, and the pump. Later, Robert Early was arrested after confessing to what he did. He charged with the murder of Emily Lambert, along with evidence tampering and kidnapping. So you guys see how a minor anger turned into a horrible crime. Subscribe for more stories. Thank you.